Definitely the case when it comes to Social Security. Social Security has over 20,000 pages of policy. If you suffer from insomnia, you can always go to ssa.gov and check out POMS. That's the policy manual there. And after a few paragraphs, you'll be sleeping like a baby. It's pretty boring stuff. But there's exceptions to the exceptions on pretty much everything. So a lot of people have made mistakes. They don't find out till later. Some people don't know they have made mistakes and they're just going along and they're losing money. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to get into the most common mistakes, and there are ways to fix it. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the 3rd business Social Security office in the country, and now my new mission in my semi-retirement is to make sure you get everything you're eligible for, everything from Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, survivor benefits, spouse benefits, disability, SSI, across the board. So if you think you've made a mistake, you want to confirm whether you're getting everything you're eligible for, everything you paid into, make sure this is a live Q&A. I've already got a bunch of questions here about the IRMAA and spouse benefits and Medicare and all the rest of it. I'll answer as many live questions as I can. If you are watching this on a recording later, make sure you subscribe. If maybe you're good, but in case you run across someone in your family, friends, neighbors that you think might need some help, it's hard to find a channel again sometimes. So it's always good to go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. It teaches these stupid algorithms that this is important information that people need out there. Yes, cat videos are important as well, I guess, but a lot of people out there are struggling. Okay, let's get into the very first one. I'll get into the Medicare one first, and then I'll get into Social Security. I'll get into some IRMAA ones. I'll get into appeals, protective filing. I've got some video questions. I want to focus on one right now that's the crucial timeline-wise, is because you have until December 7th to fix this. Most of these others, you can fix it anytime. But this particular one, you have until December 7th, and that is, we are in the middle of the annual enrollment period for Medicare plans. So if you have a Part D plan or a Medicare Advantage plan, don't make the mistake of not reviewing that plan. Contact whoever helps you out. You can contact our partners at Chapter here who support this channel. You can contact them. They do a free, nobody charges you anything. They better not. So they can review your plan for you, but whoever you contact, it doesn't matter. The most important thing to make sure you don't make a mistake there is to be prepared. So if you currently have let's say a Medicare Advantage plan, which is the ones you have to review every single year. Insurance companies hate when you review it every year, because then you find that, oh, wait a second, you raised the rates on me. And then you switch to some other company or another plan, and they don't make as much money. That's what our job is, to make sure they don't make as much money as they're already making enough money. So we don't want to give them any extra. So the 7 Ps, you check your current plan with what your plan is going to be next year with anything else out there. Make sure your providers are covered for next year. Make sure your prescriptions are covered next year. Make sure you check all the details, the milligrams, the extended release, all that stuff. They're different. It's crazy. If you have a particular pharmacy you want to use, make sure that's covered next year. Your priorities, if you need more dental, vision, hearing, whatever the case may be, cheaper, prices across the board. You're like, oh, it's zero premium. So they're pretty much all zero premium. Not all of them, but that's the trick. They don't get you with the premium, the monthly premium. They get you with the back end stuff. How much does it cost for a hospital? How much does it cost for an MRI? How much does it cost for a CT scan, X-ray, and stuff like that? And the most important thing is the other 365 days of the year is to stay persistent with those things. There are a lot of these companies that are nickel and diming and denying and reducing networks, and sometimes you have to fight. So that's one of the reasons we chose Chapter, is because they have a team that will fight and help you get what you were paying for. And you're just like, well, I'm not paying anything. I'm paying zero. Well, you're paying. The government is paying for you. You're paying your $185. So believe me, you're paying. You don't have a premium, but you're paying. So let's make sure you get everything out of it. Okay. So you have until December 7th to do that. Some people have said they've already called Chapter and they can't get through. Yeah, Chapter. Everybody wants to reach out to Chapter because they heard about the awesome customer service for the rest of the year. And because of that, for 53 days during the annual enrollment period, they could have hired 5,000 people to sign you up. But then what are those 5,000 people going to do the rest of the year? So it's kind of a tough situation. They'd go bankrupt in 3 days if they did that. So it takes time to train the people that they've got trained. So just if you've called them several times, looks like some people have called them, Mina and Brenda, I think. Do me a favor, call one more time. Call late at night. They're open till like 9 or 10 at night, East Coast time. Give it one more shot. And if you can't get through, then email me at ed@mygovexpert.com, and I'll make sure they reach out to you. You have to include your phone number because they can only contact you if they can prove that you contacted them first. And how do they do that is when you call them, your phone number is, saved in their system. And if they see that you called them, then they can call you back. But so you need to include your phone number when you email me. Okay, let's get into some retirements type stuff. If you filed for retirement, a lot of people did this year. A lot of people are regretting their decision to file for retirement benefits. And the reason they did it is because Doge came in, Elon Musk came in, and they were talking about closing down this and shutting down that and raising the retirement age and fraud, waste, and abuse and privatizing and just crazy stuff that they were talking about. So some people say, well, you know what? I wasn't going to start my benefits until I was full retirement age or 68 or 69. But the way the way of the land is moving, I just want to go ahead and get while the getting's good. So they went ahead and filed for retirement benefits or spouse benefits or surviving spouse benefits or whatever the case may be. And they didn't really want to. And now they're regretting it. No problem. You can fix it. You can fix it. So there's a couple of ways you can fix that. Number one is a withdrawal. So if it's within 12 months and there's so many overseas social media channels that are popping up with AI, and it looks like, someone with an American accent, it looks American, whatever that looks like, and have these AI people, these images talk about Social Security, and it's some channel from overseas, and yeah, they're picking up on this withdrawal thing, and they're saying, oh, you have until the end of the month, or you're going to make a mistake for the rest of your life. And they're going to do these videos every single month. And it's all right. So what it is withdrawal is within 12 months, you can withdraw your application like it never happened. So if you filed for retirement benefits, spouse benefits, surviving benefits, whatever the case may be, and you regret your decision and you said, I never should have done that, no problem. You can withdraw your application if it's within 12 months. But you also have to pay that money back because you're essentially withdrawing your application like it never happened. So you withdraw your application and you pay the money back. And once the proverbial check clears the bank and Social Security gets their money back, then they essentially kind of delete your application like it never happened again. It never happened. And then I've done that many times. And people said, okay, yeah, I filed for benefits, 8 months ago. I'll go ahead and withdraw that, pay all the money back. And then the next day they walk in and says, okay, I actually wanted to start my benefits this month. I didn't want to start it 8 months ago. And I'm like, okay, all right, no problem. Let's go ahead and take another application. So you can do it. You can file again the next day if you want to, once the withdrawal is processed completely through the system. Now, unfortunately, everything takes longer. So if you're going to do that, you need to jump on it immediately, if not sooner. All right, so you can withdraw your application. You can also work. People say, well, I filed for benefits and it's early retirement, and I understand you're limited to the amount of money you can make. That's $23,400, but I got an offer for a job and now I can't take it because I'm receiving Social Security benefits. Wrong. Just call up Social Security and say, hey, I've been receiving benefits for 3 years. I'm still under my full retirement age, but I found a job. I'm going to make over $23,400, and it's called a work report. So you just do a work report, and if it's over, let's say you're going to make, $50,000 over, they're going to hold back $25,000 of the benefits. Some people that if you're just going to go over a little bit, here's a strategy some people use. Is they say, well, I'm only going to go over maybe 1,000 or 2,000. And actually, I don't even know until December, see what kind of work I do in, November, December. So rather than calling, what some people choose to do is just let it ride. And then what will happen is when you file your taxes next year, or your employer notifies Social Security how much you made in wages, then Social Security says, oh, you made $2,000 over, so you owe us $1,000. So at that time, you can pay it in full or set up a payment agreement or whatever the case may be. Interest-free payment agreement, I might add. So a lot of people just do that if they don't know. So it's basically you get overpaid, but it's kind of like a voluntary overpaid. And politicians love to use that. They go, oh, Social Security incorrectly pays people this many people. Yeah, some people do it voluntarily, get overpaid. Because they don't notify Social Security that they're working and going to make over that amount. But politicians use it as another reason to attack Social Security. So anyway, all right. So let's see. What about appeals? If you ever get a decision from Social Security and you disagree with it, you have appeal rights. You have appeal rights with pretty much anything. Let's go ahead and I'll go into my website, which is completely free. We got one-on-one appointments with retired Social Security employees that we charge for, but the website itself is 100% free. It's mygovexpert.com, and you click on the more there, and you click on appeals, and it goes through the entire appeals process. So you have different levels of appeals. The first level is just an easy 561 request for reconsideration. So if you have anything, but you actually have to receive a decision. Someone at the Social Security office behind the window telling you something is not a decision. You cannot appeal that because that's not a decision. That's just somebody behind the window telling you something. So you actually have to file an application, and then they send you a letter and they say, this is the official decision. And if you disagree with it, and then at the bottom of the letter, it says, okay, at this level of appeal, because this is your initial decision, you can file the request for reconsideration. It goes through the entire process. And if you got any questions on that, you or your friends, then you just go onto my website there. I think it gives it a little bit better English, easier English to understand. All right, so you can appeal everything. And someone sent a question on YouTube. It says, I did not know that you could fight for that IRMAA. No one in Social Security told me about that, so I was deducted for me for 2 years. Can I still fight it? It was deducted in 2019 till 2024. Okay, what is IRMAA? IRMAA is the income-related monthly adjustment amount. Yeah, Social Security, yeah, it has an acronym for everything. So it's basically, if for high wage earners, if you make over a certain amount, then you're going to pay higher Part B premium. Right now, everybody pays $185 for their Part B premium, unless the state or someone pays it for them. But you're paying $185. If you're a high income earner, then you pay more for your Part B and your Part D. I've got all of those details on my website. Again, you just click on the Medicare part right there, click on IRMAA, and it gives you all of the details. One of the things that Congress did not make an allocation, did not make a carve out if you sold your house. So if you're saying, well, I wasn't really a high wage earner, I was only a high wage earner for that 1 year because I got capital gains because I sold my house. Yeah, that unfortunately Congress doesn't care. When they passed the law, they didn't include that as an exception. So if you're high wages for that particular year, 2 years back, they always go 2 years back. There's actually a logical reason why they do that. But if it was because of the sale of a house, yeah, sorry, it's still going to be included in there until Congress changes the law, the regulation. Okay, but this particular person, yeah, if you were being charged higher Part B and Part D premium because of high earnings, but you didn't have those high earnings, then you can fight it. And you would have to have a life-changing event, an LCE, life-changing event, and you fill out SSA 44. But you had mentioned that it was between 2019 and 2024. It sounds like it was over several years, so it doesn't sound like it's a house or you lost your job or anything like that. So if it was like for 2 or 3 years, then it's, I don't know all the details, but if it's for more than 1 or 2 years, then you probably didn't have a life-changing event unless you lost your job 3 or 4 times. And so, yeah, we're going to need some more information on that one. Yeah, again, you can always schedule an appointment with one of our retired Social Security employees, and they can go through the process with you if slow. There it is right there. So you can schedule an appointment with one of them, and they can walk you through that. All right. What about people that said, okay, well, I just found out, we had a bunch of these last week, one earlier this week. People found out that, oh, Ed, I didn't know I could file for spouse benefits or divorce spouse benefits until I was watching your channel. And I've lost all those benefits. Can you fight it? Can you get that fixed? Absolutely. Unfortunately, you might miss some of those months or years of benefits because you didn't file at the right time. But at the very, very least, you can get benefits started now going forward. So if you find out later, doesn't matter how old you are, there is no statute of limitations on something like this. If you were eligible for spouse or divorce spouse benefits 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and now you just found out you're eligible, doesn't matter. File. You probably, again, extenuating circumstances, protective filing, whether Social Security dropped the ball or whatever the case may be, you might be able to get some retroactive benefits, but at the very, very least, you can get your benefits starting this month going forward, maybe 6 months in retroactive benefits. So, all right, let's throw in some live questions here. Oops. Okay, let's see. Paul. On my notice of award letter, it states that I will receive a CDR within 5 to 7 years from the date awarded. Question, could it be sooner? You never know with the Doge team. Yeah, I just got an inside scoop from my inside people that are still at Social Security that they are increasing the continuing disability reviews for those people on disability considerably, which I don't understand how. In two aspects, they're doing that because that is a allocation by Congress, a separate budget that Congress gives them money. So I'm not sure where they're finding these money to do these increased continuing disability reviews. And I'm also I'm wondering how they're doing it with far, far less people. So they're giving each Social Security office a big workload, and they've cut back 7,000, at least 7,000 employees throughout the country. And yeah, so I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes there. And that's one of the reasons we started our other website, which is the 24help.org, is for people to go out there and help each other. So if you've got questions on all things Social Security and you want Social Security, Medicaid, housing, food banks, or anything like that, you go into our new website, 24help.org there. Again, another free website. And in your particular case, disability, you click on the disability one and you join the discussion on CDRs. If you think you're going to be getting one, how to prepare for one, and discussion groups for people to talk about that, and moral support, if nothing else. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure how they're finagling this, I think they're going to be making a lot of mistakes because they don't have the staff to do this increased workload. But technically, if your rotation is 5 to 7 years, then I probably wouldn't expect it at the 7th year. I'd probably expect it at the 5th year. But technically, they're not supposed to switch you around like that. So if yours has been determined to be a rotation of every 5 to 7 years, they shouldn't, knock on wood, I mean, under normal circumstances, but nothing is normal nowadays. They're not supposed to pick you out of the hat and say, okay, yeah, we told you 5 or 7 years, but we're going to switch it to 2 years. Yeah, they're not supposed to do that. Technically, the only way they can do that is they go back and redetermine, with some other type of situation and kind of redetermine your disability. But they're not supposed to do that. They can. There's two different types of CDRs, continuing disability reviews. There is the medical one where they see if you're still medically disabled. And then there's a work CDR. They can do work CDRs anytime. Anytime Social Security gets any type of notification or alert, or someone drops the dime on you or whoever just to cause you trouble or something, and they say, yeah, we think this person is working. then they can start a work CDR and send you out a bunch of paperwork and say, hey, we heard you're working, and where are you working, how much you making, and they ask all those details. So they can do that at any time. But the medical one, yeah, they're not supposed to do that.